Welcome back to Arena 360. In today's explainer, we aren't just looking at the back of a net bulging. We are exploring the butterfly effect. We're going to see exactly how a single fleeting 2-second strike on a football pitch can trigger massive global ripple effects. We're talking altering entire economies, igniting cultural revolutions, and even shifting the geopolitical mood of whole nations. If you're ready for a deep dive into the hidden layers of the beautiful game, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it.
Manchester City's still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero. I swear you will never see anything like this ever again. You can probably hear broadcaster Martin Tyler absolutely stretching those vowels out in your head right now, right? We're dropping right into the frantic final seconds of the 2012 Premier League season. It's a micro moment that literally changed global sports history. But to understand the true weight of that strike, we really have to look past the pitch and see the massive ecosystem that was hanging in the balance. Section 1. The 93-20 Global Phenomenon.
Okay, to really grasp this, we've got to look at the timeline. Manchester City hadn't won a league title in 44 years. 44! Entering the final minutes, they are down 2-1 against QPR, while their bitter, crosstown rivals, Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, had already won their match and were literally just standing by waiting to be crowned champions. Notice how history pivots in mere milliseconds here. At 92 minutes, Edin Dzeko equalizes, 2-2. And then, at exactly 93 minutes and 20 seconds, Sergio Aguero receives the pass, evades a totally desperate tackle, and fires it home, 3-2. This chaotic, unbelievable sequence completely shattered the monopoly of the traditional Big Three.
But here's where it gets wild. The real macroeconomic impact goes way beyond Manchester. This unscripted, pure soap opera fueled a billion-dollar globalization of the Premier League. Moments like Aguero's, pure undeniable drama viewed simultaneously in pubs in London and living rooms in Lagos, sent the broadcast value absolutely into the stratosphere. Just look at the shift. It transformed from a spectator sport with local roots in '92 into a massive global TV phenomenon. We're talking broadcasts in 185 countries, earning over £1 billion annually, making it Britain's biggest audiovisual overseas export.
Moving on to Section 2. Igniting a cultural revolution.
Let's rewind a bit to 1999. It brings up a huge question. Can a single penalty change the future for millions of people? Brandy Chastain and the USA team weren't just trying to win a World Cup. They were carrying this immense, almost crushing psychological burden of proving that women's soccer could commercially survive.
As Chastain herself noted, the headlines boldly stated that the entire future of women's football was dependent on the U.S. winning. Talk about pressure, right? They had to be marketers just as much as athletes, literally ensuring people bought tickets and showed up. And man, did people show up. Stepping up to the penalty spot in the Rose Bowl in front of nearly 80,000 screaming fans, when Chastain struck that football and it hit the back of the net, yes, it secured the trophy, but more importantly, it sparked an absolute cultural revolution for women's sports worldwide. It proved, definitively, that the audience was there.
Section 3. The Art of the Panenka.
Now, our next stop takes us to the 1976 European Championship, where a penalty kick didn't just win a trophy, it invented a brand new psychological weapon. The shootout against West Germany was tied. Antonin Panenka stepped up against the legendary goalkeeper Sepp Maier, but instead of blasting it, Panenka delicately touched underneath the ball, chipping it slowly into the center of the goal as Maier dove away. The sheer deception and risk involved here are staggering. And get this, he was later told that missing this audacious chip for communist Czechoslovakia could have resulted in severe political punishment because it could have been viewed as disrespecting the system.
And that right there brilliantly illustrates the incredibly fine line between becoming a legend and a laughingstock. Because of the slow speed of the ball, if the goalkeeper just stands still, it's an easy catch and ultimate humiliation for the taker. Over the years, we've seen masters like Zinedine Zidane and Alexis Sanchez achieve immortality with it in major finals. But on the flip side, players like Gary Lineker and Alexandra Pato failed and faced brutal criticism. It's the ultimate test of nerve. It actually prompted the great Pelé to famously call Panenka either a genius or a madman.
Let's jump to Section 4. The Teenage Global Superstar. Speaking of Pelé, let's rewind to the 1958 World Cup in Sweden. 17. That is how old Pelé was when he arrived on the scene. At just 17 years old, a single goal announced the arrival of the sport's very first true global icon. He didn't just show up to play, he introduced a profound new level of artistry to the global stage, completely changing how the world viewed individual brilliance forever.
Breaking down the physical anatomy of his legendary semifinal goal against France, we can see it wasn't just raw, unpolished talent. First, you have the fluid Brazilian tactical setup, Zidane assessing the space and delivering a precise pass. Then, Pelé, with his otherworldly spatial awareness, perfectly times his jump just outside the penalty area. Finally, he connects with a powerful right-footed volley as the ball descends. It was an absolutely perfect blend of tactical fluidity and unmatched individual execution that set the stage for Brazil's first World Cup title.
Finally, Section 5, a goal for a nation.
Here we examine how a goal can intersect with the very identity and politics of an entire nation. When Andres Iniesta scored the World Cup winning goal for Spain in 2010, the reaction back home was incredibly layered. It really begs the question, what exactly does a goal mean to a fractured nation?
Well, following the win, some political narratives quickly pushed the idea that this was a massive victory for Spanish unity, even hoping it might defeat disloyal regional demands and boost consumer confidence and the GDP. But if we objectively look at the reality on the pitch, it was a lot more nuanced. The squad relied heavily on 8 players from Barcelona, and during the celebrations, 5 Catalan players proudly kissed the Catalan flag. Furthermore, that anticipated massive economic boom? It just never materialized in the data. So the political narrative and the pitch's reality ended up presenting 2 very different stories. As Spanish writer Miguel Angel Morado astutely pointed out, maybe the explanation is far simpler. There were never so many good players before, and that's all. Sometimes we just desperately project our own hopes, economies, and national anxieties onto these fleeting seconds of athletic brilliance. A ball crossing a line might not cure a nation's economic woes or solve centuries of regional division. Maybe Spain just had a really good generation of football players.
But hey, whether it's Aguero securing $1 billion broadcast empire, Chastain forcing the world to respect women's athletics, or a Panenka risking his literal freedom for a chip shot, the impact is absolutely undeniable. As we wrap up this explainer here on Arena 360, I want to leave you with this thought. Are these moments just sports, or are they the modern era's most significant shared cultural milestones? The next time a ball crosses a line, look past the scoreboard and ask yourself, what else in the world is about to change? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think is the single most impactful goal in history? I'll be down there reading and replying. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it with your football group chats, and subscribe for more deep dive documentaries. I'll see you in the next one.
So, did you find today's explainer useful?
Then definitely drop a like, share it out, and subscribe to join the family.
Tell us, what should we explore next? Stay well.